and welcome to year number 4 of Pitt to the Point. I'm Olivia McDonald.
And I'm Demi Bauer. Pitt to the Point is your weekly 1-hour news and magazine program that airs live from the state-of-the-art Pitt studios.
Pitt to the Point covers everything from the University of Pittsburgh to the City of Pittsburgh, as well as national and international events, news, people, and stories.
We're back with your favorite segments such as Alumni Spotlight and Clubbing at Pitt, which showcases our amazing student-run clubs here.
We'll feature stories from our incredible University of Pittsburgh regional campuses, and Crossing Over at Pitt is back to show you how different departments at Pitt collaborate on the most innovative teaching in the country.
We have some new segments too. MVP, Most Valuable Professor features, and you'll love our Pitt in the Wild feature.
And we'll be joined live by our affiliate college and high school partners and their student anchors, who will tell you what's going on in their schools and their communities. Now, we're statewide from Pittsburgh to Lancaster to Philadelphia.
And of course, we'll continue to bring you the most up-to-date news from the world of politics, sports, medicine, and entertainment in the city of Pittsburgh and at the University of Pittsburgh. On March 6th, University of Pittsburgh student Sudiksha Kanaki was reported missing in the Dominican Republic. She and her 5 friends traveled to Rio Republica in Punta Cana for spring break.
Reports say that she went to the beach around 4 a.m. after a night of drinking and was last seen with a young man. Dominican Republic police have been conducting air, land, and sea searches for Kanaki. Officials have released multiple clips of security footage of Kanaki hours before she was reported missing. The footage allowed officials to put together a timeline of her disappearance. The last clip of her showed her with a group of people on their way to the beach.
The group of girls were supposed to come back to the U.S. on Friday, but stayed back to help with search efforts. Kanake's parents have also flown down to the DR to search for their daughter. The University of Pittsburgh released a statement regarding Sudiksha's disappearance. University officials are in contact with Sudiksha Kanake's family as well as authorities in Loudoun County, Virginia, and we have offered our full support in their efforts to find and bring her home safely.
Interpol has also issued a global alert for Kanaki, so if anyone has any information, please contact the Loudoun County Sheriff's Office at 703-77102.
Along with the Dominican Republic Police, multiple agencies have joined the search for Sudiksha. With the FBI being the most recent to join the search, this has now become a high-level commission search.
We now turn to our Pitt Beat reporter, Morgan Wilfong, for more information about this ongoing investigation. Morgan?
Thank you, guys. Last week, the University of Pittsburgh had a week off for spring break. And for a week that's usually full of fun and relaxation, it took a turn as one Pitt student did not make it back from her trip.
On March 6, 20-year-old biological sciences University of Pittsburgh student Sudiksha Kanaki went missing in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. She was staying with some girlfriends at the Rio Republica resort in Punta Cana for spring break. It was said that after a night at the nightclub, Sudiksha Kanaki separated from her friends and went to the beach with a man named Joshua Ribe, who did not arrive with Kanaki's group and was not known prior to the trip. There was security footage of the two walking hand in hand around the resort. Kanaki and Ribe went to the beach around 4 a.m. and into the rough waters where they got caught in a big wave. A little later, Joshua came out of the water, threw up on the sand, and then passed out on the beach. He later awoke and walked back to his room around 9:55 a.m. He had said that he thought Kanaki had just gotten out of the water after him and went to her room, but she was not seen coming out of the water. Some reports have said that Ribe had been giving some conflicting information. He is currently seen as a person of interest, but not as a suspect in this case. Kanaki's clothes were found on the beach, but there was no evidence of any violence. In regard to the resort itself, many people have taken to TripAdvisor, a platform that helps people plan and book their trips while also allowing for people to leave reviews about the places they have stayed. These people have written reviews about their stay at the Rio Republica, most being very negative. One review stated, "I wouldn't even give it 1 star. And by the way, I have never complained about a hotel before." Another one said, "I don't even know where to begin with how disgusting, unsanitary, and downright fraudulent Rio Republica is. Do not stay here." Someone else even titled their review, "Worst Resort Experience of My Life. Zero care for customers." Another even including a photo of bed bug bites on a woman's leg. These are just a few of the reviews that were left by very unsatisfied customers at the Rio Repubblica Resort. In addition to these reviews, according to the New York Post from March 12th, 3 European tourists lost their lives in the waters at the resort just this year on January 17th, and even 1 Russian tourist was hospitalized. They also stated that there have been others in the past that have lost their lives in the Punta Cana waters. Soon after Konaki's parents were informed of the situation, they came to Punta Cana. And even though many believe, especially early on, that she drowned, her parents think she could have been kidnapped and are encouraging the investigators to cover all possibilities. The FBI and police have helicopters and drones flying over the water and many people patrolling the beach. Posts have been circling around social media showing what she looks like and stating what she was last seen in. They ask that people keep their eyes out and to call the numbers on the flyers if they find out any information.
The FBI has been hard at work to find answers to Sadiqa Kanaki's disappearance and is hopeful to find out more information in the upcoming days as the investigation is still going on at the resort. And in addition to the problems that the resort has seen in the past, it has its fair share of issues the same week that Sadiqa Kanaki was staying there. I'm here with our very own Clara O'Bannon, who is staying at the resort at the same time and even had to leave midway through her stay. Clara, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me today, Morgan.
So I know you left midway through your stay and you were staying at the same resort that Sadiqa Kanaki disappeared at. Why did you have to leave?
Yes, we were scheduled to leave Friday, and we ended up leaving Wednesday around midnight. That was definitely the most chaotic night at the resort. At this time, we had lost power for at least 24 hours, causing a variety of different issues. We could only charge our phones to have contact with our parents in the chaotic and overcrowded lobby. And we were using one charger between 7 girls, as you can imagine what that was like. But then also, because our power had been out for so long, it caused other issues. We had no light in the room, no air conditioning, and our floor started flooding because our mini fridge was plugged in for so long. And then we also, on top of that, lost any running water. So we decided enough was enough, and it was our time to leave.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's just one thing after the next. And with that, all those issues, and also adding a disappearing student to that, what do you think the future of this resort is looking like?
It doesn't look good for me. I understand Rio's a chain. I feel like people aren't going to feel safe visiting this chain after this incident, and it's so publicized. I think this particular Rio in this chain does not have a bright future.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Clara, so much for joining us and for your insight about this.
Yes, thank you.
And live from the University of Pittsburgh for Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt Beat reporter Morgan Wilfong. Olivia, Demi?
Thanks, Morgan. Corey O'Connor will face off Mayor Ed Gainey in May for the primary election. However, the Allegheny County Democratic Committee endorsed Corey O'Connor, making it the second straight mayoral primary where a challenger received the committee's endorsement. In 2021, Mayor Gainey earned the endorsements over Bill Peduto.
The endorsement vote was so close that they deemed it necessary to recount the votes. Ultimately, O'Connor won 754 to 750.
Mr. O'Connor has received endorsements from other Pittsburgh organizations like the Young Democrats of Allegheny County, Pennsylvania Laborers Council, and State Senator Wayne Fontana.
The primary election is on May 20th.
2 public school districts and several parents have sued the state of Pennsylvania to undo the anti-discrimination protections for gay and transgender people.
They claim that the 2-year-old regulation is illegal because it goes beyond what lawmakers intended or allowed. Our political reporter, Delaney Pippon, has more information. Delaney?
Here in Pennsylvania, a fundamental question is headed to courts. Who decides what counts as illegal discrimination? 2 local school districts are challenging state regulators that have expanded LGBTQ protections without legislative action. The outcome could affect civil rights enforcements across the Commonwealth.
Southside area and Knox school districts in western Pennsylvania have joined Republican lawmakers and several families in a lawsuit that seeks to overturn a 2-year-old regulation protecting LGBTQ people from discrimination. Filed in Commonwealth Court last Thursday by the Thomas More Society, a conservative Catholic public interest law firm, the lawsuit targets regulations established by the Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission. In March 2023, after decades of legislative attempts to explicitly include LGBTQ protections failed in Harrisburg, the Commission expanded its interpretation of existing law to prohibit discrimination based on sexual orientation, gender identity, and gender expression.
We're neutral, we're unbiased, and we just simply tell people, if you feel as though that you've been discriminated against, file a complaint with the PHRC, let us investigate it from a form of neutrality and a form of being unbiased so that we can reach a conclusion.
The plaintiffs, including Republican Representative Barbara Gleam, claim these regulations exceed what lawmakers intended or permitted under state law, arguing that such significant changes require legislative action, not administrative rulemaking. If successful, the lawsuit would prevent the Commission from investigating LGBTQ discrimination complaints.
So I think obviously we could talk about scrutiny levels and we can talk about how much is this issue scrutinized, but I really do think that if you're going to say, well, no, you can't do any of this investigation, period, that's going to really affect Title IX.
Plaintiffs' attorneys also claim it would bar transgender student athletes from competing in women's sports throughout Pennsylvania.
That doesn't seem like a political issue. It seems like one person is being a bully or rude to another person.
The court's decision will not only affect who can establish these anti-discrimination protections, but also whether LGBTQ individuals will have the same safeguards under state law. From Pitt to the Point, I'm your political reporter, Delaney Pippon. Demi, Olivia?
Now, Delaney, what are your predictions for this lawsuit in the coming month, given the current political climate?
I definitely think it is very likely that this case will make it to the Pennsylvania Supreme Court, given that it touches on constitutional questions about government power and important civil rights issues. Demi, Olivia?
This evening, NASA and SpaceX are proceeding with plans to launch the agency's Crew 10 mission at 7:03 p.m.
The 4-person crew was originally supposed to launch on Wednesday, March 12th, but with 43 minutes left on the countdown clock, the mission was scrubbed due to a ground issue.
The crew on this expedition is projected to dock on the International Space Station around 11:30 p.m. Saturday, March 15th, and they're expected to return to Earth no earlier than Wednesday, March 19th. From acknowledging our university's accomplishments to recognizing that it's been 5 years since the COVID-19 pandemic was declared, we are talking all things newsworthy coming up.
With a local bar going all out for St. Patrick's Day and our favorite part of the show, college and high school. Stay tuned for the Inside Scoop.
You have to throw caution to the wind. Know you're capable.
There's possible.
The University of Pittsburgh.
And then there's our kind of possible. The kind that changes the face of medicine, tech, and learning.
It might have been called a miracle.
Because when we say it's possible at Pitt, we mean it. And the proof is in the people. Like Rachel Fairbanks, our top of the class and top of the game athlete of the year, who's serving nothing but excellence. Fulbrights, we're full of them. From BB to Jasmine to the next 250, including 10 in the past year alone.
It's really part of that bolstering of our global reputation.
Possible lives inside everyone at Pitt, from every corner of every campus. Like the McGowan Institute, where they are rethinking, researching, and completely revolutionizing how the body heals through a novel approach to regenerative medicine. All led by visionaries like Dr. Chandan Sen.
You can generate tissue types without using stem cells. And now we know that is possible. That will completely change the paradigm of healthcare.
Our kind of possible paves the way through selfless action and giving.
We all come together with a shared goal of giving today to transform tomorrow.
Ever see 11,000 Proud fuel this much opportunity in 24 hours? We have. And you're about to see it too. In the progress all around you. As our people continue to bring our vision and our promise to life. In newer, bigger, and bolder ways. It's possible at Pitt.
Thanks for tuning back in to Pitt to the Point. Happen to watch a story today that piques your curiosity? Want to find out more about what's going on in Pittsburgh? Visit our website.
That's right. If you want to find out more about the world of politics, medicine, business, technology, and more, log on to pittothepoint.com. Not only can you see clips from today's show, but you can also read about the topics that interest you and more. Check it out at pittothepoint.com.
With so many newsworthy events happening on our campus, it can be hard to keep up. That's where our newspaper, The Pitt News, comes in.
The 2025 Keystone Media Awards were recently announced, and our Pitt News editorial staff received multiple awards. They took home first place in general news coverage for the package of stories covering the pro-Palestine encampments, and 2 second-place awards for stories about health concerns and television reviews.
The staff also received multiple honorable mentions for stories about police, politics, police brutality, Oakland as a food swamp, and student rallies.
We are very proud of our newspaper and congratulations to them on their continued success. As we continue to highlight their work, here are some of their top stories.
On Tuesday morning, University of Pittsburgh leaders announced a full faculty and staff hiring freeze through the rest of the 2025 fiscal year with a possible extension into the 2026 fiscal year. The freeze was announced to Pitt faculty and staff through an email signed by Joseph McCarthy, Dwayne Pinkney, and Anantha Shekhar. Many other universities, such as Harvard and the University of Pennsylvania, have imposed hiring freezes as well, some citing the Trump administration and concerns over potential cuts in federal funding. Pitt leaders say exceptions may be considered for critical roles. In mid-February, University of Pittsburgh announced that the 2025 spring commencement ceremony will be moved from the Peterson Event Center to PPG Paints Arena. The university announced that this change is meant to ensure every student can participate and receive an appropriate number of tickets for their family and friends. As many graduates and their families have already made travel arrangements, this decision has prompted both excitement and concern from students over the logistics of transportation. The Student Government Board election took place on March 11th from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. All undergraduate Pitt students were eligible to vote for president, vice president, and board member positions. Marley Pinsky and Olivia Boudiquet of the H2 Pinsky Boudiquet ticket were elected president and vice president.
At the Joseph M. Katz Graduate School of Business, they host the Super Analytics Challenge. This provides students with an opportunity to address real-world challenges with data-driven solutions.
This year's challenge addressed healthcare for the homeless. They work towards solving the problem of connecting people who have unstable living situations with the healthcare they need. For more on this, we head to our business and technology reporter, Duran Lowenberg. Duran?
The Super Analytics Challenge just finished up last week. The challenge, which is run by the Joseph A. Katz School of Business, offered students at Pitt and other regional universities the chance to exhibit a solution to a very widespread problem and show off their analytics skills.
When saying the word super, analytics isn't usually what comes next. Some people at Pitt, however, think it should.
We realized that we were facing a lot of complex societal problems. So we decided that we would turn our attention, our abilities, our skills and interests of our students to help address some of those complex problems. Thus the beginning of the Super Analytics Challenge.
The Super Analytics Challenge, run by the University of Pittsburgh's Katz School of Business, just finished up its 5th edition last month. The annual challenge gave students from Pitt and other schools the chance to use their analytics skills to solve an important problem, the lack of health care available to the homeless population of Pittsburgh.
Many times a person who's homeless isn't going to be able to go see a doctor or PCP, and being able to support people in a homeless situation where they're at when they're there can be the difference between life and death for many people.
The winning proposal was made by Team 7, a group comprised of Pitt, Duquesne, and West Virginia students, and focused on providing dental care to high-risk communities using a specially designed three-pronged approach.
We had education as kind of the first step. The second step was diagnostic care, so allowing folks to have dental x-rays and to know what's going on in their mouth, and then the third layer was doing a mobile dental clinic.
Patel says that even for non-business people, the challenge is a great opportunity to make an impact. All you need to be is a storyteller.
And anyone can tell a story. You don't have to be an amazing, business analyst and have like an MBA to just present something and have people want to believe in your idea and your purpose. So.
Continue implementing their solution in the foreseeable future, and the challenge is ready to return next year. Olivia, Demi, back to you.
Thanks, Daron. Now, I think it's so great what these students were able to do to help with the homeless who can't afford health care. What can us and the viewers at home do to help out as well?
Well, you can always support the Katz Business School in all of their endeavors. Additionally, the business school has a list of government and NGO partners on their website that you can go take a look at and send them money directly to help fund this incredible initiative. Olivia, Demi?
This Saturday, March 15th, marks 5 years since our world got flipped upside down and COVID took over.
Many people, including Demi and I, who were juniors in high school, had to navigate the rest of our high school experience and freshman year of college during lockdown.
Hello, I'm Ryan Schreier. I'm a junior here at Pitt, and I'm from New Jersey.
My name is Isabella Serra. I'm a senior here at Pitt, so I'll be graduating this May.
My name is Zanetta. I am a junior at Pitt studying neuroscience.
My name is Mara Eberhard. I'm a junior at Pitt.
Back in high school, COVID affected me a lot, considering my junior year, our entire curriculum was online.
I remember everyone saying to take home your books at school, and I was like, I'll be back in 2 weeks.
It definitely was unexpected. I was in National Honor Society and had some science fairs I was working on, so it definitely impacted the presentations for those.
I mean, I had the same experience that most people had of just life being completely shut down.
And this also led into my application process, considering I wasn't able to visit as many schools as I would like. And I also think that the application process and the decision-making process for college is a lot more tedious.
Not being able to tour schools and applying blind really did affect the decision I made.
It didn't really affect my college application experience. It had kind of dialed down a little bit. Coming in, we still had to wear masks and stuff, but we didn't have any severe changes coming.
I think it definitely limited the colleges I applied to because I wasn't able to visit all of the colleges I maybe wanted, but I am happy here.
Today, we have students from Henderson High School joining us, Aaliyah Green and Caroline Zabruin. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thank you so much. This new story produced by our team was created to showcase the hard work and dedication of Henderson High School. Our video aims to highlight our dancers' efforts in practice, reflecting their outstanding performances. They truly light up every room they dance.
Today we will be taking you along with the dance team to show all the hard work that the dancers put in for Performance Day.
The dance team puts in a lot of hard work and dedication, which often goes unseen. From the hours of practice to the beaming lights at halftime, the dancers always stay game day ready.
My favorite part of being on the dance team is meeting all these new friends and taking a leadership position. We practice 2 days a week for about 2 hours so that we're the most prepared that we can be and for our performances, yeah. Our game day ritual is we stand in a circle right before we perform and we hold pinkies. And then usually the captains would give a little speech and encourage everybody. It's super fun. And then we would say, when in doubt, if you know, you know.
For the short 90 seconds the dancers have on the field, the cheering of the crowd makes it all worth it.
This news package was from our homecoming pep rally, in which was around 4 minutes long and required many hours of practice.
Thanks, Olga and Carolyn. Being on the dance club is a great way to be involved in school spirit. What are some other ways you guys show school spirit?
Here at Henderson High School, we are involved in many clubs such as Glamour Girls, Best Buddies, and Operation Smile, all in which are to help people in need.
Demi and I were just talking about how we were juniors when COVID first started and how it impacted us. What was it like for you guys since you were much younger than us?
You were very young when COVID occurred, so it was definitely difficult to navigate from going in person to online, especially with dance, where we had to go on Zoom and dance in our bedrooms or living rooms.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
If you're looking for a little Irish luck and a lot of festival fun, you won't have to travel all the way to Dublin this weekend.
Barry's Pub, located in the North Hills of Pittsburgh, has taken being a pop-up bar to the next level.
With St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, Barry's has turned its dive bar into a green wonderland. For more on Barry's Pub, we turn to our city beat reporter, Natalie Silverman. Natalie?
Thanks, guys. Well, it's all the luck of the Irish down at Barry's Pub in the North Hills. Once a local watering hole, the North Park Lounge took over and renovated the space just over 5 years ago, when COVID started, I guess, and turned it into a beautiful pub that celebrates 4 holiday themes throughout the year. Now, of course, the bar is decorated with all the magic of St. Patrick's Day right now, so I went and checked it out. We're here at Barry's Pub in the North Hills, which might look like an ordinary bar, but actually does 4 holiday pop-ups throughout the season, including right now for good old St. Patrick's Day. Grace and I came over to take a look and see what it's all about.
So we're at Barry's in the North Hills. First impressions, it's decorated really extravagantly. The whole bar, the walkway, there's a pool table on the other side, and it looks really great in here.
Open daily from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., Barry's offers more than just a great atmosphere. They have great food and drinks, too.
Okay, so the bartender made me a version of their Berry Lucky Martini, so let's give it a try. Delicious.
And remember how I mentioned food?
Okay, so we got some fries, and we're gonna try out their house ranch.
And remember how I mentioned 4 holiday celebrations? Well, Barry's does pop-ups for Halloween, Christmas, and Christmas in July. Like I said, Barry's is located right off of Perry Highway, just a short 25-minute drive from campus. So with good eats, games, and a fabulous holiday atmosphere, what could you not love about Barry's Pub?
Barry's Pub is definitely one you don't want to miss. It's right off of Perry Highway in the North Hills, and it's got all the luck of the Irish. Well, as Grace and I can attest, Barry's Pub is an absolute must-try, and I heard it pairs well with the annual St. Patrick's Day Parade downtown. Reporting with the luck of my 50% Irish blood, I'm your City Beat reporter, Natalie Silverman. Olivia, Demi.
Thank you, Natalie. Now I know the bar has done a variety of different themes, including Christmas and Halloween. What theme would you like to see them partake in?
Ooh. Well, the one they do have that I really want to go to is Christmas in July, which I just think is funny. But I guess what they don't have, I mean, I would like to see some Hanukkah, a little Hanukkah themed bar. Like, I'm Catholic and Jewish, so I would like Christmas and Hanukkah. The place is big enough.
Thanks, Natalie. If you are a sports fan like Demi and I, you won't want to miss hearing about Pitt dominating the ACC championships in wrestling this past week.
Or an exclusive look at an interview with Shawn Springs where he talks all things NIL right after this break.
Part of the University of Pittsburgh is the Cathedral of Learning.
There's a lot you can say about this place. Gritty? Well, we prefer tough. Resilient. Innovative, of course. We are part of the city that built the backbone of America, and now we're making it bend and flex in every which way.
Your time at Pitt has also prepared you for what is possible.
But there's one thing you can't deny. When the world needs something, we find a way to give it to them. Whether that's defeating a crippling disease,
Salt's exhausting labors had paid off.
or fighting off the world's next life-threatening illness, we focus our eyes and attention on the ones who need us most, day in and far out.
The Pittsburgh Panthers are the National Collegiate Champions.
So the question we have to deal with is, can we work and build together even when we're different?
All this comes naturally when you've built a foundation on community in a city that feels more like a family at a time when there's basically no other choice. So yeah, there's a lot you can say about this place. But this is what we know. We know that we've earned more than $1 billion in research funding just this year alone. We know that we're breaking ground for more groundbreaking innovation. We know that if you throw a problem our way, we'll do the work to solve it.
You are here, standing, greeted by the end of one journey and the beginning of the next.
We know that it's possible at Pitt.
Hello and welcome back to Pitt to the Point.
The show has flown by today, but don't fret. We'll be right back with you next week at the same time, and the week after that, and the week after that.
Pitt to the Point airs every Friday morning at 8 a.m. on the University of Pittsburgh website, the Pitt to the Point website, and YouTube channel. You can also find a taped version of the show on Pittsburgh's CBSN, which is KDKA TV's TV streaming platform, on Saturday at noon.
And we're excited to say you can also catch a re-airing of today's Pitt to the Point in Philadelphia every Saturday at 12 noon on CBS Philadelphia's streaming platform. This has been a big week for Pittsburgh football after trading for star wide receiver DK Metcalf. Steelers fans are anxiously waiting to hear what the team is going to do about their QB situation.
In 2021, the NCAA finally allowed college athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeliness. Many former athletes, like Shawn Springs, have pushed to make NIL what it is today.
In 2025, student athletes have made up to $5 million in NIL deals. Our city sports reporter Noah Don has more for you. Noah?
Thanks, guys. The upcoming NFL season began this past week when the free agency period opened this past Wednesday. During this period, players are able to sign with teams for where they will play in the upcoming 2025 season and beyond. Many teams, such as our very own Steelers, had made multiple signings during this free agency period. This began for the Steelers before free agency began when they traded for Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf. The team also made various signings such as Eagles' Darius Slay and Kenneth Gainwell, as well as linebacker Malik Harrison from the Ravens and quarterback Mason Rudolph, who looks to return to the Steelers and become the quarterback for the upcoming season. In more somber news, also this past week, there was the passing of Craig Wolfley. Wolfley was a former offensive lineman and sports broadcaster for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wolfley played for the Steelers from 1980 to 1989 before joining the broadcast booth in 2021 as he began to be the color commentator for the radio. Wolfley passed after a battle with cancer. He was only 66. Our heart and condolences go out to Wolfley's family and friends. Before players can make it to be professionals, they play in college sports. And up till recent years, they were not able to be paid, but now they are, with their name, image, and likeness. The NIL allows players to profit and be compensated for playing college sports. A couple weeks ago, I had the opportunity to talk to former collegiate athlete and NFL player Shawn Springs to discuss how NIL affects every collegiate athlete.
When I think of NIL, name, image, and likeness, most people think that everybody gets NIL. Let's be very clear and separate NIL and the collective, right? But really what it comes down is to how a kid is able to monetize his personal IP, his personal intellectual property, his digital resume. Since the universities are making so much money, why don't we start to compensate these athletes for their contribution in sports and what they do? But then it came and said, let's pay for their name, image, likeness, where you could get paid by representing a local car dealership, whether that's signing autographs, your name, image, or likeness. Universities for years have been making money off these kids. So I think it's fair that they only get some type of payment for their services. All student athletes should. Talk to the sports committee about yes, athletes should get paid. There's a gap because some athletes obviously are bigger name than others, and rightfully so. A person like Juju Watkins, who's a girl at USC, who's basically the face of female college basketball, if not women's basketball. She's going to get compensated well because people want to be associated with her brand. End of the day, every school's commitment towards putting more money to sports may not be their thing. UVA might want to put more money to their medical hospitals. It's always been a unbalanced, and I don't know if you ever will have the same fairness. Some athletes or some programs may get paid a little more in order to get a kid there. I don't think people talk about how the transfer portal has changed college sports or even recruitment in college sports as much. Because now you're starting to see bigger schools, they're recruiting kids off the mid-tier schools. Well, I think that the thing about the NIL is like this name, image, likeness is kind of like, I'm not sure that's the right thing to call it. It's basically your personal brand and IP. And if kids aren't focused on personal development, becoming a better person, regardless of the money, getting their education and stuff, some kids can fall into a trap of not being focused, not understanding that it's a business now, not understanding that you have to, still get your degree and stuff like that. And really focus on just personal development. I think that's where it would hurt some kids. And I think it's a lot of unknown. I think there's a lot of unknown. I think universities are still working with attorneys and everything, right? They're trying to figure it out. They're professional student athletes. That's easy. I don't know how else to describe it. Like they're professional student athletes, right? They're students, professional athletes, right? I guess that's the easiest way to describe it.
Seeing where NIL goes in the future, and a special 50th birthday shout out to Shawn Springs. And for more sports at a university level, we toss to Pitt sports reporter Katie Pearson. Katie?
Whenever wrestlers get a takedown in their sport, everyone in the crowd goes 3, showing the amount of points the wrestler has earned. And after their recent performance at the ACC Championships earlier this week, Pitt Wrestling has 3 new reasons to celebrate.
Earlier this week, Pitt Wrestling competed at the ACC Wrestling Championships. Earlier this week, Pitt Wrestling competed at the ACC Wrestling Championships in Durham, North Carolina. Out of the 10 weight classes, the Panthers had 8 wrestlers qualify for the NCAA Wrestling National Championship. In total, the team had 1 5th-place finish, 2 4th-place finishes, 1 2nd-place finish, and 3 ACC champions. In the 184-pound weight class, graduate student Reese Heller defeated NC State's Dylan Fishback 4-1 in sudden victory to take home his ACC title.
It means so much. You go in, the goal is the postseason. Everything you do is work towards this. And, getting my name up in the wall in that gym that I've worked so hard in means a lot. And, even better, setting myself up for Philly pretty well as well.
In the 197-pound weight class, redshirt sophomore Max Stout major decision Stanford's Nick Stemmet 10-2 to earn his 20th consecutive victory and first-place honors.
Yeah, I kind of just started to have fun with it. Of course, I'm always trying to have fun, but, coming into this tournament, I was pretty optimistic, thinking that I already wrestled these guys, and, it's went pretty well so far, so I don't really have to change anything. I kind of have all the tools. So, kind of just go have fun, smile, and do what I love.
And on his way to a first-place finish, redshirt sophomore Dayton Pitzer defeated both the first and second seeds, besting NC State's Isaac Trumbull in the semifinals and Virginia Tech's Jimmy Mullen in the finals by a score of 4-1 in sudden victory.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely felt good. I feel like a couple of matches throughout this past year, I've kind of beat myself and just kind of correcting some mistakes. And I have good coaches. I didn't try not to let it be too bothersome throughout the season. Obviously, I'd like to get those in the season too, but it's fun to wrestle well this time of year. So just looking forward to the next thing.
In addition to winning the heavyweight title, Pitzer was selected as the winner of the ACC Most Outstanding Wrestler Award. The Panthers finished second as a team with 63.5 points behind only Virginia Tech. Other notable performances include Luca Augustine, who finished second in the 174-pound division, Nick Babin, who placed fourth in the 125-pound division, and Briar Priest, who finished fourth in the 141-pound division. The Panthers will conclude their season next week at the NCAA Wrestling National Championship at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Panthers will be represented by 8 wrestlers at the NCAA Wrestling National Championship next week, including Nick Babin, Briar Priest, Luca Augustine, Jared Kessler, Dylan Evans, Reese Heller, Max Stout, and Dayton Pitzer. And while I have us on the topic of ACC champions, I of course have to mention former Pitt quarterback and current NFL pro Kenny Pickett and his recent move in the NFL. Earlier this week, the Philadelphia Eagles traded Pickett to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for a 2025 fifth-round draft pick and quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson. This season will be Pickett's 4th in the NFL. And today, we covered so much. We talked about wrestling, we talked a little bit about football, but there's still so much more that happens within Pitt sports that sometimes it can be a little hard to keep up. This Friday, you got an update on one of Pitt's budding professional stars and one of my personal favorite teams here at the university. For Pitt to the Point, I'm Pitt sports reporter Katie Pearson. Demi, Olivia.
Now, Katie, based off of how they did at the ACC championships, does Pitt have a good chance to bring home some more wins?
Absolutely. So Pitt is a great wrestling school. Pennsylvania is really a wrestling hotbed, and we're seeing that especially in the heavyweights here at Pitt. For example, Max Stout has been undefeated since the month of December. He has 20 consecutive wins, and he's earned the 6th overall seed in the 197-pound bracket. So it should be great to see how everybody does. They have a chip on their shoulder, and they're going in with a goal to earn that All-American status. Demi, Olivia.
Thanks, Katie. Pittsburgh has a new musical coming to town for all you Broadway fanatics.
And we get an inside look at 2 of our satellite campuses. Stay tuned for more on Pitt to the Point.
You have to throw caution to the wind. Know you're capable.
There's possible.
The University of Pittsburgh.
And then there's our kind of possible. The kind that changes the face of medicine, tech, and learning.
It might have been called a miracle.
Because when we say it's possible at Pitt, we mean it. And the proof is in the people. Like Rachel Fairbanks, our top of the class and top of the game athlete of the year, who's serving nothing but excellence. Fulbrights, we're full of them. From BB to Jasmine to the next 250, including 10 in the past year alone.
It's really part of that bolstering of our global reputation.
Possible lives inside everyone at Pitt, from every corner of every campus. Like the McGowan Institute, where they are rethinking, researching, and completely revolutionizing how the body heals through a novel approach to regenerative medicine. All led by visionaries like Dr. Chandan Sen.
You can generate tissue types without using stem cells. And now we know that is possible. That will completely change the paradigm of healthcare.
Our kind of possible paves the way through selfless action and giving.
We all come together with a shared goal of giving today to transform tomorrow.
Ever see 11,000 Proud fuel this much opportunity in 24 hours? We have, and you're about to see it too, in the progress all around you, as our people continue to bring our vision and our promise to life in newer, bigger, and bolder ways. It's possible at Pitt.
Hold your top hats, Pittsburgh,
Next
because
smile.
Annie is making its way to the Benedum Center this weekend.
That's right. Catch the show tonight and tomorrow and see why this heartwarming musical has captured hearts for decades.
With 7 Tonys under its belt, he is a true theater legend. Our entertainment reporter, Nick Bennick, has the inside scoop. Nick?
Thanks, Olivia. The iconic musical Annie is making its return to the Benedum Center today to add just a little bit more heart to this St. Patrick's Day weekend. The play is a staple in the theater community, and it is going to make its current home in Pittsburgh.
The musical production Annie is returning to Pittsburgh this St. Patrick's Day weekend. The 7-time Tony Award-winning play has long been coveted as a classic and one of the most popular musicals ever taken to the stage. In addition to its influence in the theater world, Annie has also had a major impact on aspiring young actors and actresses.
Hi, my name is Stefania DeMichael, and I am the president of the Musical Theater Club here at Pitt. I think Annie is very significant, one, because it has stuck out for years and there's so many adaptations, and you have so many big people who have been a part of so many different adaptations of it. And then I think giving a big role to children and like child actors, it's one of those few shows that kind of really spotlights that. So it gives a space for like small theaters to really highlight that show. And then the music is really fun and it has really good dance elements and kind of really ties it all together, which I think makes it a really big standout.
As the musical has become so significant in highlighting young talent, the opportunity to portray the titular character has become a high honor for actresses everywhere.
I think if you are a theater student or even a young kid who really aspires to do theater, most of the time, if you are a female presenting person, you want to be Annie. Most of us wanted to be Annie. I wanted to be Annie, even if you're not a little redhead. It's just one of those roles. She has a bunch of music, a bunch of songs. It kind of gives you a place to have spotlight, but also to kind of grow. So I think the appeal of it just being really strong and like kind of a really big achievement to hold is what really makes it stand out to like young theater students and young people aspiring to do things like that.
Annie will be performed live in Pittsburgh at the Benedum Center today on the 14th and tomorrow on the 15th. Tickets can be purchased on the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust website, as well as on several different ticket purchasing sites.
Annie's return to Pittsburgh is a joy to both casual viewers and play buffs alike. It's another great production being put on by the Pittsburgh Cultural District. Demi, Olivia?
Thank you, Nick. Pittsburgh has a vibrant cultural district. How will this renowned musical make an impact in our city?
Well, there's so many different things being done in both the film industry, TV networks, and plays in Pittsburgh. This is just one of several different moves that's being done by the Cultural District, the Film Office, and so many other different organizations in Pittsburgh to try to make this a staple on the East Coast for productions in the theater arts and other different things. Demi, Olivia?
Thanks, Nick. Well, for if some reason you miss a segment from Pitt to the Point or miss the show altogether, don't fret. We've got a website for that. The Pitt to the Point website, pittothepoint.com, has all of your favorite stories from politics to sports to entertainment, plus many more.
On top of that, we also have exclusive articles from your favorite Pitt to the Point personalities. Go check out our website today. Now, Olivia, Do you think many people know that the University of Pittsburgh has 4 regional campuses in addition to our main campus here?
Wait, are you talking about our awesome campuses in Johnstown, Greensburg, Bradford, and Titusville?
That's right. This week we'll get an inside look into the Greensburg campus, discussing their most recent panel journalists from the Pittsburgh area.
Our Bradford campus also has exciting news about their basketball season. We turn to our regional campus reporter, Isaiah Washington, for more. Isaiah?
This past Wednesday, the University of Pittsburgh at Greensburg held a conference about democracy in media. This is something that community and Pitt Greensburg students were able to learn from people in the media in Pittsburgh.
The Greensburg community were able to learn from the source about what it's like to be a journalist, along with stories and what it's like on a day-to-day basis.
I do a lot of work on my own, kind of looking out at stories, kind of digging in. I spent a good part of 2 years kind of back and forth between East Palestine, Ohio, covering the train derailment there.
Every month I get about 500 to 1,000 words to just rant about whatever I see fit in the city's transit landscape. So
I have been able to, I'm lucky that I've been able to sort of explore my health interests over time.
They also got to hear about the importance of journalism.
Holding a newspaper, watching television, reading something online, getting it from a podcast, you still need educated, trained, ethical journalists to report that news.
This is a message that was important to share even before the panel. I talked to Professor Lori Jaquila on why it was so important to have these conversations about journalism.
The media is, like many things, under attack, and the First Amendment is so important, of course, to the media, to people. Freedom of the press, freedom of expression is central to democracy and the American way of life. So that's the big answer.
She also shares a message about what she tells her student journalists.
I always tell my students, you are real journalists. You're not student journalists, you're real journalists. And the work that you do is so important because you can reach so many people, and you still have that freedom and protection of the First Amendment.
It was very powerful to hear about the importance of journalism, especially journalism from students and people alike. And what a time to be alive in the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford. Their basketball team had an amazing historic season this year. This year, they were able to have the most wins in program history, along with winning the Allegheny Mountain Collegiate Conference for the first time since 2002, and the first regular season since 2003. They also had head coach Jesse DeLuke win AMCC Coach of the Year. They also had 3 players win all AMCC Player Honor. Jamarion Butler also was the first team and Player of the Year for the AMCC. I am Isaiah Washington, Regional Campus Reporter. Demi, Olivia.
Thank you, Isaiah. You transferred here from a satellite campus. What was that transition like for you coming to Pitt's main campus?
I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was kind of hard leaving some of my friends, but I've enjoyed the opportunity that I've had at this school at Pitt main campus, but I also really appreciated the things that I learned at the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford. So it's been a fun transition.
Thanks, Isaiah. If you think you have the voice of an angel, joining Hines Chapel Choir might be the place for you.
Stay tuned to hear all about Pitt's mixed a cappella and choir group and how you can get involved.
We wear it with pride. We wear it with pride. Shout it from podiums.
Hail to Pitt. Hail to Pitt.
And prove it out time and time again. It's possible at Pitt. Now we have an opportunity to give these words even deeper meaning by making Pitt possible for all. Because it's not enough to just welcome one of the largest first-year classes in university history. We must ensure that every student from any background has every opportunity to pursue whatever they want to pursue. Thankfully, there's a plan in place to increase access and affordability and eliminate financial barriers for students in need, to help more upper-class students reach the finish line when they meet unseen hurdles, To go dollar for dollar, matching federal Pell Grants to the tune of more than 139 million big ones. To continue opening doors and kickstarting careers. To expand our programs, enhance our support systems, and meet our students where they are, literally, online, in the workforce, and on multiple platforms. Possibility is what drives us, but let's not forget, students are what make us. They are the ones at the center of our mission. They are the ones who will meet the world's needs. We are the ones who can make their possible, possible.
Someone a long time ago had an idea that we could change the way we do things. What if you had over 30,000 big thinkers and believers behind you and $1 billion in research to make it happen? With a will that never quits in a city connected to everything. Well, you'd probably find yourself doing something truly incredible.
You can check out any of our stories at our website, www.pitttothepoint.com.
Having been around since 1938, they are the school's first and only mixed a cappella choir group here at Pitt.
The club includes students with many different majors, passions in life, but one love for music.
So HCC, or the Heinz Chapel Choir, it's an internationally recognized a cappella choir, which means there's no accompaniment. Traditionally, sometimes we have cello, but mainly it's, no background, piano, like it's just all our voices. It's a course that you can take for a credit if you'd like to. It's faculty directed by Dr. Susan Rice, and there's about 40 of us, and we're the only mixed official choir at Pitt. And it's really great because a lot of us are not music majors, and we're in it because of our passion for music and the passion to share that with people.
I think it's more than just singing with other people. I think it's also building a relationship, not only with each other, but with our director, and really bonding together. I would say the sole purpose of Heinz Chapel Choir is to not only make music, but to provide an experience for those, especially an experience whenever they come to the chapel to hear us sing. It is a very ethereal vibe inside the chapel.
I've made so many close friends from joining this group. I think that it's worth a try, and it's an amazing experience. I'm the wardrobe manager, so I make sure everyone is following the dress code for our concerts. I remind people beforehand to bring their little socks, their bow ties, every little piece that we need for performances. So my major is communication sciences and disorders, so it's completely different than music, singing, art, or anything like that. But I think it really showcases my passion for choir and also my love for this art and this music.
But I think the choir is special because so many people, want to sing and want to share music and want to meet people and want to connect. It's so great that we still have a passion to share music and create something beautiful. And yeah, everyone is really hardworking, and it's really it's a fantastic group to be in.
Whenever it all comes together in that one sonic space, it is overwhelming in the best way possible.
Now, Olivia, I don't know about you, but I think I would be great in an a cappella group. I would make them sing Defying Gravity for sure.
I think you would be pitch perfect in an a cappella group. Thank you for joining us on Pitt to the Point. If you enjoyed today's show, you can rewatch the show on CBSN KDKA TV streaming platform every Saturday at noon, as well as CBS Philadelphia streaming platform at noon on Saturday.
You can also check out our social media platforms, including Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook, where you can get behind-the-scenes look at our show.
If Demi and I have kept you entertained for the last hour, then you are in luck, because for the next 5 weeks, Pitt to the Point will be coming to you live at this same time.
Until next time, I'm Demi Bauer.
And I'm Olivia McDonald, and we'll see you next week on Pitt to the Point.